中文不太好. I founded a startup and I'd run for the president of the United States.
Hi guys, my name is Katie and welcome to this interview series where I interview amazing people like Evan to learn more about him and his college life and what he's up to after college. Why don't you start with a little introduction?
Hello, I'm Evan Shu. I am a molecular biology and biochemistry major here at Wesleyan. I'm a senior, class of 2024. My major commitments at this school are being a pre-medical student and also running a student publication called Disorientation.
That's great. Yeah, just to preface, we go to Wesleyan University, which is a liberal arts college in this town called Middletown, which is situated between New York and Boston, and it's now ranked 11th on the US News as the best liberal arts college to go to. Can you walk us through some of the most interesting classes you've taken? And
as a molecular biology and biochemistry major, I've taken all of the basic science courses like biology, chemistry, and physics, but the more interesting courses, I think, have been the ones that you find higher up the chain. There was a course called Advanced Lab in Molecular Biology and Genetics that was really hard. It was kind of a trial by fire of how to work in a lab under a primary investigator.
Yeah, that's interesting because our school has a lot of really hands-on class and we have a lot of interdisciplinary classes. So why don't you tell us more about what prompts you to go into biochemistry?
It follows the best with the pre-med path. I was definitely influenced by my father. Like coming into college, he said, Evan, if you're a doctor, it's going to be a lot easier to live peacefully and comfortably. Otherwise, I just have a lot of people who I met in chemistry and biology classes who I meshed well with, and I'm kind of naturally scientifically curious. I would be the kid who was asking a lot of questions in my classes.
Do you have like a specific direction you want to go into in biochemistry?
I am going to do some research in immunology. I took the MCAT over the summer. You have to take it if you want to apply to medical school.
I've actually stalked you a little bit on LinkedIn before I come here, and I've seen that you interned at one of the immunology labs over the summer. Can you talk more about it?
Yeah, so I worked at the Lee lab at Boston Children's Hospital. It's a pediatric immunology lab. What we did was study like rare diseases that affect children mostly. I worked on a project related to the particular case where someone has half of the required copies of a gene called SOX1 and contributed to a paper, which is really the important thing when you are in a lab. If you aren't getting published or mentioned in papers at least, then you're just doing work.
Among all of those different things, Evan is also really active in the club space on our campus. The first time I met Evan, actually, he handed out a disorientation booklet to me, which is the club that he's leading on campus right now. Evan is one of the most passionate people that I've met. He always have this high level of energy. Can you talk more about disorientation, how you're leading the club, and how do you balance clubs, social life, and then also studying?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thank you very much for that compliment. I appreciate it. In terms of getting involved with clubs in the first place, it just came about as a result of me knowing people. I have a philosophy of just talking to people, and there's kind of a barrier that you need to overcome usually where you think, oh, if I talk to them, like, am I always going to be the first person to talk to other people? Are they never going to come to me? I kind of consciously decided to not care about that, and that has really helped me just meet new people. And as a result, I just join a lot of clubs, and because people will talk to me about what they do, and I start caring about what they do, and then if I really care about it, then I'll join their club. When it comes to balancing the responsibilities that come with, pre-med, being in clubs and social responsibility, you have to keep up with all of your friends. It's very helpful to schedule out my time. Like I use Google Calendar, literally keep track of everything, including social engagements. Like if I have lunch or dinner with someone, I'll always write it down. Like this, I scheduled out like an hour and a half. 我可以说中文，可是中文不太好。我觉得我没有太多的发音，所以我不可以给你们一个清楚的照片。
Hi guys, so we've now moved to the top of Foss Hill and let me show you the view. And now we're going to move on to deeper questions. So my question for you is, do you think you've found your passion? I think the word passion is being overused because the idea of you need to find your passion creates a mindset that you're always chasing something that if you've not find the thing that clicked, then you're not doing enough. And so this constantly chasing mindset is sometimes bad for you. From a biology point of view, like we human beings are just evolutionary species and we probably probably don't have a meaning being on this earth, but we just like to create meanings. Yeah, back to the question.
My answer to that is pretty deeply informed by who I have found myself to be. And when it comes to finding meaning or finding what I even want to do with myself, the places that I've always found my ability to do that are in conversations with other people. There was actually a class that I took last semester that was really instructive for that. It was called Leadership and Social Innovation. And that class gave me time to reflect on what matters to me. And the answer is that I am a more political person than I thought I was. I care deeply about democracy, about equity, about things like that. And that's why I ended up getting involved with disorientation. And that is also why I have decided, like, not just being a doctor is my goal. I want to make change in the American medical system. The American medical system is huge. So that's already one lifetime's worth of endeavors. Ideally, I would work from there on the global healthcare system, but getting unity across global systems is almost never possible. So starting in America, I want to make healthcare more affordable, make the incentive structures work less against patients and providers, but help them to work together towards more proactive, more efficient, cheaper, but also more effective medicine. The obstacles in the way there are insurance companies, but really the deeper obstacle, I guess, is the whole American economical system. It took the perspective of humanities classes that I've taken here really to figure that out. I found that in classes other than the science classes that I've taken here, which is what I've really found meaning in. Being a doctor, it's gonna be great. I'll pay all the bills. I'll be able to eat every night. But
only every night?
Yeah, maybe in the mornings too. It takes a balance of classes and a balance of passion finding to really decide what your meaning is, in my opinion. I don't really feel boxed in on my path. I founded a startup with some of my friends at the beginning of my sophomore year. The startup was called Social Nexus. What we aimed to do was to create sort of like cryptocurrency, like a coin for people who you think are interesting or cool, like celebrities essentially. What you could do is invest in their rise. You could turn personal energy that people tend to invest in celebrities into actual investment. The idea was interesting, and it gave me definitely a taste of what it's like to be an entrepreneur. I developed an app with these guys. It didn't end up getting off the ground. We didn't get any investment, but we definitely got a lot of experience. Honestly, working together as a team with a few other people was a big part of that.
Whoa. You live upstairs? Discipline. This is a chore chart, and this is what you're gonna buy. What do you think are some of the advantages or disadvantages of going to a liberal arts school?
I wouldn't have come here if I didn't think that the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. So I'll start with the advantages. You get to know basically everybody here. Wesleyan, I think, has an undergraduate population of about 2,600. There's about 650 or so people in the class who you can get to know. In terms of the liberal arts curriculum, I think if I had gone to a larger school, I probably would have only taken science classes, and I wouldn't have as much perspective on the world as I do. Being able to articulate my ideas properly about what I care about and what I think about the world as it stands today. In terms of cons, though, because Wesleyan is a small private university, it doesn't spend as much money on housing and its buildings. So, in terms of just the pure aesthetic quality, this is neither a pro nor a con, but a difference in the culture around having fun. From what I know, at many other bigger universities, the party scene revolves around fraternities and sororities. You might not spend much time at your friends' houses. But at Wesleyan, because we're kind of isolated, every major party is just a house party.
Let's end with the final question. What would you do if you knew that you would not fail at this thing in your life?
That's a very interesting question. What I would do if I knew I was not going to fail would be, I don't know, maybe I'd run for the president of the United States.
Yeah.
I don't think that's possible. I don't think I have the fortitude to do that, nor do I have the political connection, but it would be awesome. Then I could really influence policy. I could be the influencer of policy.